You know that feeling, right? You're in a social setting, there's chatter all around you, but you just feel completely wiped out. You take a quiet step back, and all of a sudden, you're the one getting weird looks. Well, if you've ever felt totally misunderstood for avoiding the shallow end of the social pool, then this is for you. And those labels, man, they sting, don't they? Arrogant, cold, antisocial. You're not trying to be rude at all, but your quietness gets read as an insult. It's like there's this unwritten rule that says to be liked, you've got to be the life of the party. But what if that's just not how your brain is built? Okay, so this is where we're going to flip the script on this whole thing. Because psychology is now showing that these labels are almost always a massive misinterpretation. Your brain isn't broken. Nope. It's just operating on a totally different frequency, one that craves depth, filters out all the noise, and is constantly looking for real substance. So let's dive into what I call the great social misconception. And really the core idea here is simple. Your mind isn't being difficult on purpose, it's actually being incredibly efficient. It's hardwired to search for depth, which makes all those surface level interactions feel not just kind of boring, but genuinely mentally exhausting. So why? Why does your brain crave this depth so much? Well, it all starts with a cognitive need for complex stimulation. The first few signs we're going to talk about are all rooted in how your mind processes information and why that puts you so at odds with anything superficial. For a lot of people, casual chats about the weather or what was on TV last night, that's just a simple way to connect. But for you, it's the total opposite. It's not just uninteresting, it can feel physically and mentally draining. You're not zoning out because you're rude, you're zoning out because your brain is literally being starved of the stimulation it needs to function. And this really gets to the core of the disconnect. Psychology has this term, low need for cognition. It basically describes people who thrive on small talk because, well, they just don't enjoy thinking deeply or wrestling with complex ideas. Your mind, on the other hand, is desperate for it. And without that real stimulation, it just starts to shut down. And here's another thing. While some people are just focused on what's happening on the surface, the isolated face value stuff, your mind is doing something completely different. It's a natural pattern seeker. It's constantly scanning, looking for the hidden meanings, the secret connections, and the bigger picture that ties everything together. See, your brain isn't just passively listening to a conversation, it's actively analyzing. It hears the words, sure, but then it immediately starts analyzing the behaviors and patterns underneath. And then it connects those dots to see what's really going on. Shallow interactions, they just don't offer that complex, layered data your brain is hunting for, which is why they feel so unbelievably dull. But it's not just a thinking thing, it's a feeling thing. There's a really powerful emotional driver at play here too. This next part is all about what feels like an allergy to fakeness and your deep, fundamental need for genuine, honest connection. I bet you can walk into a room and just instantly feel it. You can spot the fake stuff from a mile away. The forced laughter, the attention-seeking drama, the compliments that don't mean anything. Your radar for inauthenticity is just incredibly, incredibly fine-tuned. And believe it or not, this isn't just you being picky. It's a recognized psychological trait called a high authenticity orientation. It means your brain sees right through the performance, right through the mask that so many people wear. And because you see the raw truth behind it all, you can't play along. It can feel isolating for sure, but you'd rather be alone than surrounded by pretense. And get this, it literally comes down to your brain chemistry. A lot of people get a nice little dopamine hit from getting likes or shallow validation in a big group, but your brain is built differently. This trait, low social reward sensitivity, means you simply don't get that same rewarding buzz from surface-level socializing. At the end of the day, it's not even a contest for you. You would rather have one single meaningful conversation than 100 superficial ones. Your brain isn't wired for quantity, it's wired for quality. It craves the substance and purpose that only comes from a real, genuine connection. So all of this, it leads to our final and maybe most important point. We're not talking about avoidance here. We're talking about a powerful and deliberate strategy, having the wisdom to walk away in order to protect your peace. So what are the triggers? Well, you know them, because you feel things so deeply, you are incredibly sensitive to negative energy. The second you sense that pointless drama, that backstabbing gossip, that bad energy, or just straight up jealousy and dishonesty, your internal alarm bells just start screaming. And here is the absolute key. When you encounter this stuff, you don't fight back. You don't argue, you don't try to change their minds. You simply and quietly remove yourself from the situation. You instinctively understand that engaging with shallow drama is a colossal waste of your precious mental energy. And I really want you to hear this. This isn't coldness, it's not pride, it is a sign of incredibly strong, healthy emotional boundaries. You're not being rude, you are choosing to protect your peace. You're observing from a distance instead of letting yourself get dragged down into the noise. So listen, if this is you, if you're the one who's always pulling away from the superficial stuff, I want you to remember this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You do not need to water yourself down to fit into a world that often runs on empty chatter. This isn't a character flaw, it's a profound strength. So I want you to think about it. Which one of these signs really hits home for you? Is it that physical exhaustion you feel from small talk, that deep gut-level allergy to anything fake? Or is it the wisdom you have to just walk away and protect your own peace? Figuring out your why is the first step to truly owning this rare and powerful part of who you are.